They all want answers, and they all want to get wrapped up in stuff, so it slows down our evolution. Bill Hicks said, evolution didn't stop at our thumbs. We can keep going. Language is just, like spoken language is just one way of communicating, but there's so many other ways, that, you know what I'm saying? Because I believe that this is it. You live, you die, that's it. And whatever else is out there is beyond our comprehension. There probably will be for a long time. I don't think the world needs answers. There's going to be questions that can't be answered, and you don't have to it's okay not to know the answer.
I've built an entire career on not giving away the whole farm as far as explanation. It's been an element of I'll present to you a particular odor and throw it out in the air, and then you have some kind of sense memory of those shapes, colors, sizes, sounds, and you draw on your own experience. And then if there's missing pieces, and you're the kind of person that likes to ask questions, there's going to be a lot for you to discover.
Tool, Perfect Circle, Puscifer, those are different conversations with different people that approach puzzles in a different direction.
Because sleep is a huge piece of the puzzle, huge piece.
And, long in the dark ages, they had this stuff down because you can break this stuff down to its simplest form. And, that's what the Fibonacci is, and how things grow. We're all related in some way. So we tried, with the math, pulling that stuff in too, because we found it's another way of communication, and it's something where you may get it because we have this thing in common, and these theories of science within the band, you may get it but not know you get it, because it's that same, I'm not going there.
You referred to writing lyrics as, kind of putting together or solving a puzzle, putting together the pieces of the puzzle. What's the key for you in terms of solving the puzzle? What do you need to put us on together?
Well, first and foremost, it's a reaction to the melodies and structures and time signatures that the group of musicians are presenting, whether it's Matt Mitchell or Billy or Tool. It's all reaction melodically to those rhythms, constructing it in a way that feels like an actual conversation. And I, of course, react better when they're not in 4/4. I don't speak in 4/4. So these conversations sound more natural when they're in something that's a different time signature. So that's the first part, is to find the melody and the rhythm, the vocal rhythm and melody first, and then figure out where that emotion is going, and then just look at your life experiences, what you're experiencing at the moment, and attach a set of words or a circumstance to that set of rhythms and melodies to see if it opens up a whole story. Yeah. Because, human interaction, human experience from birth to death, there's an infinite number of flavors and colors and bandwidths that are going to, emotions that come with those experiences.
Construct words out of the sounds.
And then formulating what is the key line that attaches itself to the whole picture of this song. And then I'll build off that line, subject-wise.
Maybe a video will help someone else who's not listening closely enough. Maybe they'll watch more closely than others.
I'm really interested in your lyrics. Where could I find information, or what do you suggest me to read?
Well, that's kind of hard to answer. Because I always write words to the music. The music itself it's kind of a higher form of language, and so it suggests particular universal dynamics, universal juxtapositions and relationships with, rhythm and notes, and those are reflected in our daily lives and in our relationships. So for me, the words are just my interpretations of those passages, those movements, the music itself. So I don't really know where to look. Look in your heart, because it's all there.
I feel like we kind of go down these paths and really explore so much and read so much that it's like talking to some computer geek about a program, because yes, we have such in our realm and what we've studied, we have such a vast body of knowledge and a frame of reference that when we're speaking to somebody who has no frame of reference to that, we must sound utterly insane. These people are like, what the? it's all wavelength and frequency. It's all light and sound.
Mathematics,
It's all
music,
light and sound.
musical notation.
Yeah, it's all there.
So it's not just random life meandering here and there.
No, I think that's why you know, one of the main things when somebody's really getting into the more metaphysical and spiritual aspects of themselves and their environment, one of the first things that really kind of comes out of that, and if you notice, if you've had any kids you know that are in college that are starting to experiment with hallucinogens or whatever, one of the first things they start to experience outside of that is synchronicity. Like, oh my God, I looked at the clock today and it said 111. And I didn't look at the clock all day long, and then I got home and the clock said 5:55. Isn't that trippy? So they start really picking up on all the synchronicities and the overlapping patterns, and it's kind of like nature throwing you a bone.
And you have some kind of semblance of a vision. And unless those people were all focused listeners and we all kind of like sit down and just work it out, you're not going to get anywhere.
You need to hear the finished thing, you know, almost finished thing. Get the melodies in place. Get the rhythms as if I'm an instrument.
We set the precedent right away. Our music isn't necessarily something that you just put on and tap your foot to. It's definitely more of an interactive process. So right away, the entire fan base that we've developed over the last 10 years, it's been those kind of people, and it kind of spread out from there. So we set the precedent initially. It wasn't about jumping up and down to some catchy phrase. It was about connecting with the music, listening, and respecting these people as artists, and listening with an artist's ears. So, I would say the majority of our crowd they're artists in their own way. So they have respect for what we do. They're very forgiving. They listen with their hearts.
A basic philosophy of maybe the end of the world, or the end of what's going on in our world, and evolving because of that, stepping up. Like we're not evolving. I think a lot of people have just slowed down. Technology has gotten to the point of, we're moving on, but we're moving on very slowly because people are becoming very comfortable. And the thing that I found out is most people don't like to think. And I'm one who I like to be stimulated and like to think and like to get my mind open. And whatever can do that, I'll do.
Just kind of sit down and clear my head and just listen to what was being said by the music and what kind of particular dynamics were coming out of, emotional dynamics were coming out of those sounds. Then the words just kind of came. There's definitely an approach in it. We have an end product in mind, and everybody has to hear that thing, whatever it is that each person wants to hear out of the songs. And until we feel that or hear that or discover that, the song's not done.
If I'm accurate with the broad strokes and the sacred geometry of it, you will have some experience that applies to this story, but I don't lay it all out. It's not all just ABC, therefore D. It's going to be all over the map. It's going to require you to be engaged in some way. If you don't want to get it, you don't have to. The songs, you can just tap your feet, jump up and down, whatever you want to do. That's up to you. No matter what the project, Puscifer, Perfect Circle, Tool, we're trying to give you something that's more than the sum of its parts. There's something else there. And depending on where you are in your life, you may hear it or may not.